He's the Republican, and we are going to be joined now by Bradley S. Gray. He is a Libertarian candidate, and I would remind you that Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 does come with a salary that would be $42,230, and the Justice of the Peace is the presiding officer of the Justice of the Peace Court and the Small Claims Court and has many responsibilities. We welcome Bradley S. Gray, the Libertarian, for coming and joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
And our panel is ready with questions.
Mr. Gray, what do you see as the role of the Justice of the Peace?
Well, the Justice of the Peace is it's the highest ranking office, if I'm not mistaken, that does not require being a member of the state bar and having a legal degree. And as a result, it is an office very much in tune with it is an elected office very much in tune with its constituents. It has to be a direct link between the people and the judiciary at the local level and on the minor crimes and misdemeanors.
What qualifications do you feel you bring to this office?
Well, first of all, my plans in life. I am currently a sophomore history major at Texas A&M, and I do plan to go on to law school. One thing about my love of history and law and politics in general, I see them as being very interrelated because politics is basically the business of making law, and history, I see that very much as the history of politics. So it's my profound interest in these areas, I believe, makes me quite, if not qualified, then certainly suited for a life in politics.
I'd like to follow up on that.
Mm-hmm.
You are a sophomore at Texas A&M right now, and this is a 4-year term for the office. Would you be here to serve out that term if you're elected?
Yes, ma'am, I would. What I would be forced to do is certainly cut back on my role as a student to honor my responsibilities in this office. However, it would not necessarily spell the end of my student career. However, it would certainly take a backseat to my public service.
In line with that, do you think you would have the time to be a full-time Justice of the Peace?
I believe I would. Obviously I would not be able to be a full-time or, at first, I believe, even a part-time student. But there are options such as either correspondence courses or night courses, conceivably, that I could work into my schedule that would allow me to continue being a student as well as honoring my commitments.
Are there any changes that you would like to see take place in the Justice of the Peace Court?
Well, I believe that there are many changes that need to be made. However, I'm not on the inside. I do not see exactly. I can see certain changes that appear necessary on the outside. However, not being there in the office yet, I feel hesitant to outright call for sweeping and major reforms. You know, I would much prefer to play it more conservative as opposed to bucking the system right out and for ill results. Pardon me.
Many of the people who come before the court are A&M students. Would that present a problem for you?
Actually, I think that would actually be a benefit to having myself as Justice of the Peace, because I would be on their level. I would understand where they're coming from and could factor. I would be able to better factor in their situation to their cases. However, that does not. I would still treat them as with due process of the law. I mean, they're in front. They would be in front of me for a reason.
As a follow-up to that, part of the role of a justice of the peace, it may be the first time that somebody has accessed the judicial system. So how do you balance the need to punish an offender with the need to make this a teaching punishment?
Well, that's a very good question. Personally, I believe that being the first time, I believe that the emphasis should be more on on teaching a lesson as opposed to punishment. However, punishment should be considered as one way to teach a lesson, and a very effective way to do so, in fact.
And we're out of time at this point for questions. Please make a 30-second closing statement.
Okay, to reiterate, my name is Bradley Gray, and I'm the Libertarian candidate for Justice of the Peace Precinct 2. I urge you to not only vote for me, but to vote for other Libertarians you will see on the ballot. The Libertarian Party is the only party in a perfect position to provide for smaller government and less obtrusive government. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your being here. You've now met both of the candidates for Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, and we'll move now to the